So, let's see what we have. Let's pull one card from this deck if we can, from the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Okay, I got 3, and Trick or Treat at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. All right, we'll do all of them. Why not? That's the bottom of the deck, Trick or Treat, which says mischief and play. First card I'm seeing coming out is the Witch, the Earthly Weaver of Worlds, Eternal Love. It says love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. And Winter, the sacredness of pausing. Now, something tells me these are out of order, but I'm just going to leave them like that for now. So let's, I was only planning on doing one card, but I feel like I need to do all of them, of course. So, Trick or Treat, Mischief, and Play. All right, so I'm not going to read you this whole thing, but it basically talks about the whole concept of Halloween and dressing up in costumes. And the whole idea behind that was to pretend that we were spirits, right? To blend in, to seem as if we were one of the creatures in the night that we were so afraid of, right? There's mention here of how this is a good opportunity to get to know our neighbors, because that's something we don't really do so much nowadays, right? Everyone's so reserved, and it gives us an excuse to mingle in our communities in ways that we don't traditionally do so much anymore. So, should you receive the Trick or Treat card in your divination, it may well be a time to examine the role of play and mischief in your own life. You don't have to be a child to let go and have some playtime, and you can extend the fun to others. Sometimes we're afraid to make mistakes, and play is one way to alleviate the pressure that we sometimes place on ourselves to get everything perfect every time. Alternatively, it is worth knowing that there is a balance between manipulation and mischief. The former is not pleasant, and the other has, at its core, a sense of irreverent fun. Well, this isn't really the message that I'm hearing from the book, but it does kind of echo yesterday's message to me a little bit, the idea of pretending to be something we're not being our authentic self, trying to blend in with those around us because we're scared of being, I don't know, recognized, right? We're afraid. So I don't know, I'm feeling that particular message, but you can take what the book said or you can roll with that. So let's just move along because I have 3 cards, 3 more cards. So the Witch, where is she? Is she under W? Because I'm not seeing her. There she is, under T. Okay, the Earthly Weaver of Worlds. I've never seen this card before. This is a fairly new deck, so I have not seen a lot of these cards. Okay, witches have had a bad PR day for a couple of millennia now. Originally, the healers or cunning women of the village, the very word witch, came from the Celtic word, I don't know how to pronounce this, wick, meaning weaver or wise. Could very well be Wicca or witch. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so when the new religion of Christianity spread through the land, the custodians of the old pagan ways, in part witches, were labeled as evil, and as we know from history, persecuted. They were driven underground or under the night sky into the shadows of misunderstanding and darkness, However, for the purposes of Halloween, let's look at witches as the weavers of magic and change. Here we go with change again. Through spells and rituals, and even through herbal recipes, yes, often brewed in a cauldron, they weave the powers of this world and the next in synergy to solve problems and heal. Holding the witch card means that you can weave your own change throughout your life, and that magic indeed is afoot. You must understand that you have power and it is real. It may also indicate that others may be threatened by your developing personal power, and that they may not appreciate or like the changes in you as you grow. Be prepared for this and do not be discouraged. New friends and better opportunities will be attracted instead. Yeah. Okay. So you can take everything I just said, but bouncing off of what I was saying, I feel like, and a lot of us know this, right? There's a consequence for being different. There's a consequence for not towing the line, following the so-called rules, for which there are none, by the way. You make your own rules in this life. You even get to decide if you want to follow the law, which is different from rules. And some laws should never be laws to begin with, okay? We could go down a whole history lesson about laws and how much we need to respect those. But I digress. There are no rules. The number one rule is that you're supposed to be yourself, and you're supposed to be true to yourself. And anyone who doesn't like it, and I've said this before, they can kick rocks. You should never have to blend in. And trust me, I speak from experience. I'm not saying I've never done this at all. In fact, this came up a little bit for me within the last couple days in a reading I did for myself. It was talking about, well, actually it came up in another reading as well. So this has come up a couple times. So that's why I'm ranting about it right now. This is a lesson I learned over my lifetime, because I spent a lot of it pretending I wasn't who I am to an extent. And, unfortunately, I still to this day don't feel like I can be who I am with most of the people around me. Like, I don't feel accepted. I don't feel respected in so many ways. So if that is something you struggle with, standing up for yourself, demanding respect, demanding to be able to be yourself and to express your authentic truth in the world, I'm just here to tell you that I'm right in the same boat with you. But, I stand up for it every time I get a chance. I do feel like I'm pretty good at standing up for myself. And I mean, more or less, I never really felt like I had much choice but to be me. It's just, not everyone is entitled to your truth either, right? Like, you don't need to be going around divulging what you find to be, privileged personal information to every person either. So there's some discernment in that. But let's read this eternal love. I mean, first of all, you should have eternal love for yourself, no doubt, right? Okay. But let's just read what it says. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death, right? When the body leaves us and our souls are above, our possessions no longer, nothing remains but the intertwining of love. All of us are the product of millennia of love. Our parents, our ancestors by blood and ritual, all have in some way created the DNA that weaves throughout our bodies. Love, in fact, powers life and death. When most of us first encounter death in our lives, we experience grieving too. And in some ways, that feeling could be described as an absence of love and the absence of that person or being. But the kind of love that is often shared between family members, friends, and lovers, separated only by physical death, is the kind that poets wax lyrical about, that is truly eternal and transcends death. Should you choose this card, you are being reminded that love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is more powerful than death itself. Love lingers. It leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready and desiring of a partner, it also indicates that a significant love is close at hand and to be ready to open up to this new experience. Yes, okay. And that's beautiful. And take that if that feels right for you. But also at the same time, and I could rant about this as well, but I will not. In order to have an authentic, real love, if that's what you desire in life, a lot of us do, right? In order to have that, though, you need to be your authentic, real self. Because, as this card said, as you elevate, as you, embrace yourself and who you are and express that into the world and love yourself, you then attract people who vibrate in the same way. You attract people who can feel that off of you. And, maybe you don't necessarily resonate with all of them, but that's how you find the ones you're looking for, right? I don't know if that makes any sense. I haven't gotten a ton of sleep. But my point is that we often attract who we are, or we attract those who lack what we are, right? And there's a challenge in discerning which is which. But let's stick with love and just say that if you pretend to be something you're not, if you pretend to be someone you're not, then you're going to attract someone who's looking for that fake persona that you are projecting into the world. So they are actually falling in love or whatever. They're being attracted to a persona, a fake person. And that's what I feel like the witch's challenge is, to actually be yourself, to let that fire out and shine into the world. And that's how you attract the real stuff. Okay? I feel these cards are thick. I like it, but I always think there's another one. Okay, so then we have winter, which once again, I don't know if these are in the order they're supposed to be in. I feel like winter maybe isn't even supposed to be here. Maybe this is a separate message. Let's see what it says. Well, it's talking about death again. Okay. The sacredness of pausing. Lightly I step, for the earth falls asleep. A lullaby to rest and pause, the soul's secrets to keep. Death is frightening, even though, or perhaps because, it is inescapable. However, as we move into winter, we know it signals a literal and metaphysical death. In some parts of the planet, the extreme weather means snow and ice buries all life, and the ground lies fallow? I don't know this word. That doesn't happen to me very often. And still, in winter, the earth slows down and there is less light and often more wet weather. Many plants die back, many animals are less active, and traditionally it was a leaner, more difficult time for those who worked on the land for their living. Winter often brought with it the end of a life cycle, a figurative or literal death. Should the winter card appear to you, it's time to let what no longer serves you die away. Where it seems natural and right to let things that have been bothering you for some time die back, take real action to change those things. Anything that is superfluous, extra, and burdensome, release it. Sorry, I'm just meditating on that myself. Well, I do think it fits for sure, because if we're following that line, which once again, this is kind of a repeated message, but I feel like it's an extension of yesterday, like I said, because you have to be yourself if you really want love in this world, because otherwise no one can love you if you're not you. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not like groundbreaking idea there. For sure. And what we need to, if we're over here and like I said, like this like a fake persona, putting on your, you know, putting on your basic persona to try to fit in with the basics, well then yeah, we need to kill that, you know, we need to dead that. We need to let that go. We need to let that die, because I mean, you can do what you want, I guess. You don't have to. You don't need to. But that is the way that you live an authentic life. That is the way that we live fully and attract people of value who see our value into our life. Right? I was going to pull tarot on that. Maybe I'll do a separate tarot because this is too many oracles. I don't know. I'll think about it for a minute, but I'm going to end this here.